Teresa, I really want to talk to you about Vanderbilt today, which is one of my favorite topics to talk with you about and has changed so much since we first kind of joked about it 2 years ago to now sitting in a situation where they're a very relevant football team. And I thought this week we had such a good representation of the new status of Vanderbilt football fighting with the historically perceived status of Vanderbilt football. Because this week we saw a top recruit flip from Georgia to Vanderbilt, which is a very real sentence that I never expected to be saying in the year 2025. But they get Jared Curtis, big quarterback recruit, to decide to come to Vanderbilt instead of Georgia. And then at the same time, we see the college football playoff keep Vanderbilt on the outside looking in. And obviously this is, future seasons compared to this season, but I'm just talking about the perception where the college football playoff sees a 10-2 Vanderbilt team and keeps them on the outside looking in of the playoff. And the committee's logic was kind of this goofy reasoning saying that Vanderbilt doesn't have a quality win anymore since they beat Tennessee and Tennessee dropped out of the rankings, but that was because Vanderbilt beat them. Just how did you evaluate how the committee sees Vanderbilt and maybe has not yet caught up to the understanding that this is a very real, competitive, talented football team?
In this day and age of the transfer portal and NIL, it is like they just don't understand that things have changed. Notre Dame is getting its traditional extra asterisk and assistance based on their past in history. And Vanderbilt, you take any other SEC team that is 10-2, their losses were at Alabama, at Texas. And at Texas, yes, they were slow in that first quarter, but they were trying to recover an onside kick with a chance in a 3-point loss to either force overtime or win. And I'm sorry, but isn't that a quality loss? And I'm just going to pivot to Hunter Yurachek, and a guy who once worked in the Vanderbilt athletic department, for God's sakes. He said on Tuesday night that now that Tennessee is no longer ranked, they just don't have a signature win. Really? I'm sorry, but I can count on this many fingers the number of wins that Vanderbilt has in Neyland Stadium in 50 years. And they went to Knoxville on Saturday and frog stomped the Volunteers. Think about it. If not for 2 red zone turnovers early, that is not just a rout. It is a thumping. And it was a thumping. It just could have been so much worse. Literally, Tennessee fans were crying in tears in the stands. Our friend Art at Make It Sports, captured it perfectly. But it's like you take the nameplates off of the resumes for Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, switch them, do the old coffee switch, and you are going to pick Vanderbilt's resume every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And sorry, CJ, but I don't buy that they're not good now. Well, Vanderbilt had a reason that South Carolina fell from number 11. Lenora Sellers was a Heisman candidate.
Teresa, you had me until you brought up South Carolina, dog. I'm not giving you credit for beating a 4-8 team. No.
CJ, I am on a roll. Stop.
I'm sorry.
Virginia Tech, they fired their coach 8 days after. Vanderbilt went in there and throttled them in the second half. They scored on 5 straight drives. They go to South Carolina. The reason South Carolina is 4-8 is they had something to do with it. It just makes no sense. And Clark Lee put this perfectly. And not only did they flip Jared Curtis from Georgia, they flipped a 3-star wide receiver from Alabama to Vanderbilt. Okay? And Clark Lee put it perfectly yesterday. He's like, okay, if they're not going to let us in, we're going to kick the door in next year. And you want us to play? We'll go. People are trying to say, can we get Notre Dame and Miami and Vanderbilt and maybe Texas and just maybe take them to Hawaii?
I saw this.
It's like Clark Lee's up for it. He'd love a chance to show you what his team can do.
Wait, was that Clark Lee quote real, that he was like, we can have our bags packed and go play a game this weekend?
I think so. Now, I was monitoring the stream.
In jest.
Well, they're that willing to go show what they can do. and so I was monitoring the streaming of his signing day newser because I was at Vanderbilt, because it's also Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, the first rookie quarterbacks to face off in a game this year in the NFL. But it's like, and the streaming was going in and out, but Clark Lee and Candace Lee, the AD, they had a news conference Monday trying to point out, guys, look at the data. And the football, the FPI from ESPN, It's taking into account Vanderbilt when they were 2-10 2 years ago. This program is not that. And that's the problem with the current college football rankings is it's like, why are you looking in the portal? I'm sorry, but one reason Mark Stoops isn't around, he brought 27 players in through the portal. I mean, we are literally in the day and age of the NFL, and that's why I love the NFL. You know exactly what it takes to earn a playoff berth. You know exactly what it takes to end up with the number one pick overall, and you just leave it out and it's decided on the field. And here you have a committee. And this is why, sorry, I don't know what's going on outside my house. They're cleaning all the leaves in the neighborhood. But
it's Big Tennessee. They're trying to keep you out of the college football playoff. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's big CFP.
Big CFP.
I know that. And Middle Tennessee has actually had like 3 ties to that committee. Carla Williams used to be at Vanderbilt. She's now at Virginia. Chris Massaro is the MTSU AD. Hunter Yurachek, and I forget the 4th. But that's... my God, what's going on outside my house? I hope it's not coming through. But it has to adapt. It has to change. There's been such a focus on getting more teams into the playoffs. Maybe we just literally do need a play-in tournament similar to the NCAA tournament to let these final 4 teams, because there's always going to be, you go to 16, 20, 24, there's going to be 4 teams that said, we should be in there. But I'm sorry, Vanderbilt, I have covered Vanderbilt since 1992. Nobody had a season like they did this year in the SEC. Alabama, they held on at the end of Auburn. And I'm sorry, Mr. Hunter Yurachek. Vanderbilt played in Nashville. That game was not in Auburn. If you didn't know that, either you, with a little grace, maybe you misspoke, but maybe you just didn't look at Vanderbilt's resume.